Hey, everybody.
Howdy.
Deplorable Bobby here with my partner, Dangerous Freedom. Together we are.
The dangerous deplorable.
So here we are again on a Sunday night. And we've got a great guest tonight.
Here we are.
And
I got this. I got this. Okay, we're good. We're
yeah, I
good.
know you're notorious for that, Ron.
Well, it's because I can't mute it. It's not going. But,
All right.
we're back.
All right. So it's going to be a few minutes. We got 5 in here. Thank y'all for coming. I appreciate you, Iron Crane, for being first.
Yep.
And we're going to talk tonight to a guy in
Mary.
Michigan. He's running for the 14th District of Michigan for Congress. We know him as Detroit Preppin.
Mhm.
His name is Roger Henderson. We're going to get with him tonight, and we're going to do a little talking. But before we do, I want to always gather my people and tell you how proud I am to have you here and how glad that you're here to spend some time with us. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe.
Rebel Jack.
All right. That's right. I'm your Huckleberry.
I'm your Huckleberry. Get it right, Bob.
That's right. I'm your
Huckleberry.
I got it. Okay. So let me get this done and we'll get started. Monday at 3 p.m. tomorrow. Fight and Defend and I have a special edition coming to you. I'm going to tell you, we've got some information about this coronavirus. And I'll tell you, if I wasn't so busy tonight and I had people coming on behind me, we'd bring this to you tonight because it's news that's breaking. And I'm going to tell you, you're going to be astonished at what you find out about this coronavirus. And it's not just the coronavirus now, there's a norovirus. And we'll talk about that later. But
that's crazy.
Wednesday, Tactical Technician will be my guest at 8 p.m.
CLC.
ACLC. Friday, 3 p.m. Dangerous Freedom and I will be together again for our Deplorable edition on Friday. Sunday, 11 a.m. my Bible study. And 8 p.m. on Sunday nights, here we are as Dangerous Deplorables.
And you're going to be starting Exodus this next Sunday?
That's right. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I finished Genesis today, and next week we'll be starting Exodus. And that's going to be a chapter, I'll tell you, if you like mystery, if you like intrigue, if you like magic, if you like miracles, and you love God, you need to be there for this one. The book of Exodus, 11 a.m. on Sunday mornings. But tonight, we're blessed. We have a guy out of Michigan, like I said, and he's running for Congress.
Yep.
He's fighting an uphill battle, but at least he's fighting the battle. So I'm going to, with no further ado, I'm going to bring in a good friend of ours. His name is Ron Henderson.
Roger
Henderson, known as Detroit Preppin. And Roger, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. How are you guys today?
Great. Good to see you, man.
Good to see you.
All right. So we got a lot to talk about. If you would, give us a little bit of your background and why you even decided to run. And you might as well, while you're talking, just go ahead and tell us why you chose to run for Congress instead of, a local office or something like that. So just give us your spiel and let us learn a little bit about Detroit Preppin.
All right. Well, my name's Roger Henderson, as everybody knows. I live in the city of Detroit at this time. I moved to Detroit in 2008. If anybody is subscribed to my channel and has watched my videos, they pretty much know my backstory. I moved here and suffered through probably one of the worst times Detroit has gone through in the past 100 years. Literally roving bands of thieves that would dismantle homes and cart them off in shopping carts while the local police were all but powerless to stop them. I hung in there, gained a tremendous amount of video from my home surveillance system, which is posted on my YouTube channel. And
posted that link, by the way.
Started a channel about a year ago. I just had so much to say to so many people, and I felt like I wasn't reaching enough people in my circle, my friends, my family, and
Yeah.
started my channel about a year ago and really immersed myself in actually even watching other people's channels. And the one thing I realized is everyone I was listening to knew the answer to solve the problems we're facing. But I hadn't heard one person stand up and say, you know what? Send me to Congress and I'll make your argument in front of more than 500 people, more than 1,500 people, more than 50,000 people. With a platform like that, I feel we have a chance to not only be heard, but encourage more people to let their voices be heard on the floor of the House.
Yeah, and that's what we need, brother. That's what we need. We need grassroots politics again. That's what we need.
Well, your
But
second question about why not trying to run for a local government position before trying a federal position. First off, I'm running for U.S. House of Representatives, District 14 of Michigan.
right.
And there is no other entry level position other than maybe a staff member.
Yeah.
For the federal government. It's the beginning. It's the closest to the people you are representing. I mean, there's 14 districts in every state.
Right.
Yeah.
So you are one-on-one with the 5,000 to 10,000 people basically in your area. Your term is 2 years. You don't have a lot of time to go there and dig your heels in and debate and talk some more about debating. You have to go there, do what your constituents sent you there to do, and hopefully run for a Senate seat after that. So you can dig your heels in and make some of the bigger decisions that need to be made for all of us.
Well,
Somebody
you do
decide for all of us.
You do realize now, if you were running on a Democrat ticket, you do know that you'd have people backing you from every corner of Detroit.
Ooh,
that's how Ocasio-Cortez got her seat in Congress, was she ran in her district. And same thing with you, a fresh face, young. I mean, and by the way, while we have everybody here, I want to congratulate you on the new addition to your family.
Yes, sir.
Tell us about that right quick.
Frank James was born December 21st at 9:46 a.m. A bouncing baby boy.
Amen, brother. And it's your first baby.
My first child, yes, sir.
Well, amen to that, brother. God bless you and God bless your family.
And that gives you more determination, because now you've got to make his future bright.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I very well can't look him in the face and tell him all that's wrong with this world and not be the solution.
Amen.
You're right. And I understand, brother, you are running an uphill battle.
Absolutely.
I mean, from day one, you've been running an uphill battle.
Yes, sir. Just to give you a little background, the first thing you need to do is form a campaign committee. Though the process is all online and it is free of charge, you do need to follow through with all the paperwork and requirements. You need to form once you have formed your campaign committee, you need to file for a tax identification number to pay employees in your campaign. Right. Yeah. There's 5 steps to basically get yourself registered. You have to register with the Federal Elections Commission. Once your campaign attains $5,000 or more, you have to give them quarterly reports, let them know where you're spending your money, who's giving you the money. However, running as a Democrat, you need 1,000 campaigns, or you need 1,000 signatures to have your name added to the ballot.
Right.
Running as a Republican, you need to meet that same requirement. You need 1,000 signatures from your district to have your name placed on the ballot. Now, if you decide to run as an independent, the bar is raised. You need 3,000 signatures to have your name placed upon the ballot. Now, as an independent, not only do you need more signatures to have your name placed on the ballot, if you run as a Democrat or a Republican, you are pretty much subsidized by those parties.
Yeah.
Right.
That comes through donations made when you go to H&R Blocks and they ask you, do you want to contribute $1 to the presidential election fund? And it's distributed, and their financial needs are met just when they say I am. And
Exactly.
It's like you said, Bobby, it's a fresh face, a new gimmick that falls under their umbrella of control. I don't want somebody that's going to vote with that guy just because they both have blue ties on. I don't want somebody that's going to vote with that lady just because they're both wearing red handkerchiefs in their pockets. I want somebody to go in there, listen to what the discussion is, and give their independent opinion of whether it's constitutional or not. That should be the only debate on the House floor.
Yep.
I agree.
Everything else,
running as an independent, now that automatically puts you at a disadvantage.
Absolutely.
Now, and my understanding is now, if you're Democrat or Republican, like you said, you need 1,000 signatures. Well, actually, that's going to be 2,000 because you got to have a little bump to make sure that you've got the 1,000. So now that you're talking 3,000 as an independent, that doubles to 6,000.
That's
signatures.
Right.
Is that right? Is that the way I understand
recommended amount that I should turn in is 6,000. If I fall below 6,000 signatures when I turn it in, my name is not automatically placed on the ballot. They will have to manually review my signatures, which means they're going to attempt to contact the people with the phone number they left. They're going to attempt to verify whether that person's registered or not. And they have rooms of people they hire to dismiss signatures. And that's, through the Democratic Party, through the Republic, because it's in their interest to have no competition.
Yeah.
So what it boils down to, Republicans and Democrat are discriminating against the independents by giving them a higher bar.
And most people would probably jump to the conclusion that that's a federal law that is made up. Now, those rules are made up by the state. So each state determines their election rules.
Okay.
Some states you can sign up and say, I want to be on the ballot, and they'll put you on the ballot. Some states say you need signatures to have your name placed upon the ballot. Now, most states that are Republican controlled have a very low standard for having your name placed on the ballot.
Right.
Do the paperwork, sometimes pay a fee. Most democratically controlled states have tremendous bars to jump over because it's in their interest to insert their candidates and stop anybody that has an opinion other than theirs from speaking their opinion.
Exactly. So another form of censorship.
It's absolutely.
And in essence, that's what it is. That's I've never really thought about, the independence, in my lifetime. I've thought of Ron Paul, and his dad. But there aren't that many independents in our government these days. But, the thing about it is if we can get a couple of more of these independents in there, and they can, and we can start to make our voices heard, because most independents are conservatives. Most lean to the right all the time.
Libertarian.
We don't have to be black or white. There is a gray area.
Absolutely.
And within that gray area, we should be able to be the Democrats or be the Republicans, should pull those that lean in that direction and support them, even though they're independents. They're conservatives, and the only difference is they don't want to join your party, but they still have the same ideas and ideals. So,
Well,
but yet they're both going to fight against the independent.
absolutely. The independent to me represents who they don't want heard.
Amen.
They want to stand up there, give their version. They want to stand up there and give their version. And in the end, the American version that
the one,
every other American wants to be heard is silenced because there's only 3 of us sitting over in a corner. And they've been doing this for 100+ years now. And like I started the video out saying with you guys, we all know the answers to the problems we're having. Why is it that we're still making videos about this and not videos about what we're doing to change it?
There you go. Well, that's why we had you on here.
Absolutely.
Because we want to know what you're gonna do to change it, or what you hope to do to change it. And when this election's over, and if you're not a congressman, what is your next step? What will you do then?
Well, definitely immediately filed to run for the next election of the same position.
Okay.
I will attempt to run twice for this particular position. Beyond that, I don't have a plan federally speaking. I may at that time decide to focus more time on my property up north, which I would like to at some point incorporate into its own township and have other like-minded people come join me on that property and have their own homesteads.
Hey, wait a minute. You got the first 2 right here. me and Dangerous Freedom we're loading up our vehicles right now.
I'll tell you what, I'll bring guns and ammo.
That's it. Guns, ammo, and food, brother.
It's only accessible by boat right now, but
I can swim.
We'll get you there. We'll definitely get you there.
Yeah, we'll have our own Second Amendment island.
Well, I mean, it's pretty much what you see happening in cities around America. I mean, just for an example, let's talk about Dearborn for a minute.
Okay.
Now, these people have come, they've used the system to gain their citizenship. They've had children and they've taught them what our system is and how to game the system, use the system, and profit from the system.
Amen.
I don't blame them for that. What I blame is the person that lived next door to them and watched them do it. And all they had the courage to do was complain about how it wasn't fair, how it's not right, how they shouldn't do that. The only person that can stop somebody from doing something you know is wrong is you. Whether that's your local government, your federal government. If you're waiting for somebody else to go do it for you, we're going to be right here where we are today, complaining about how bad things are and how these people that came from nowhere and had nothing outsmarted us, and then we claim to be the smart ones in all of it. We claim to be the true Americans that won't stand for communism, socialism, and all the other things they're bringing from their countries that didn't work there and will definitely destroy our country as well.
Oh yeah, they're totalitarian.
Yeah,
and we'll
Ron and
no
I have talked
about ourselves.
Yeah, Ron and I have talked many times about we have so many people from so many countries, third world countries, where they're being persecuted and killed and murdered because of their sex or their orientation or whatever. And yet they're coming to America and bringing the exact same evil with them that they were fleeing.
Yeah. And they're doing it.
And they impose it on other people.
It's not just from the Arab nations. It's coming from down south too. They're coming over here and they're not trying to be American. I'll tell you what, when I see a Mexican flag above American flag, I automatically I get pissed. It just makes me pissed.
Well, still staying with what I've said since I started my channel. I believe every American has the right to do what they want to do in America.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're not an American and you're doing something like that, I have a real serious problem with it because
Yeah.
without overreacting, it's an act of war.
Well,
You
well,
place your flag above. Now, if you're just some crazy American and that's what you feel like doing, knock yourself out. Set it on fire,
Well,
set it on top. Whatever you want to do as an American.
But they're illegal. They're not.
Here's what gets me. And Ron, I'm with you at 100% on what you said.
I do have a question.
No flag,
I do have
no
a question.
flag in the United States of America should ever fly above the American flag.
Yep.
I stand for the American flag. I fought for the American flag. I served this country for the American flag. I pledged allegiance to that flag, and I rose that flag on a flagpole many times as a child in school. You know, I learned what the blue and the white stars and the red stripes meant.
Yeah.
You know, the white was, for the purity. The white was for the purity that we wanted. And the red was for the blood that shed. And the blue was for the union. And the stars were for the 13 colonies.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's what we started with. As I'm looking at your hat when I said that.
Yeah.
That's right. We started off with 13 and now we have 50. According to Obama, we have 57. But we have 50 stars on our flag today. And that flag should never touch the ground. I'm going to tell you, there were men who have fought in battle carrying that flag as a standard. And when they were shot and fell, the very next person behind them picked up that standard, put it in the air, and ran forward with it until they were shot and another picked it up. Sometimes there would be many banner carriers because they were in front and they had no weapon because they were carrying that banner. And you have to, I'm getting goosebumps. I'm going to tell you, I am literally getting goosebumps thinking about this. You have to imagine people fighting a battle in a war with 58 caliber muskets. Okay. That is a big, big round, brother.
Take your leg.
That's a lot bigger than a 50 cal. And let me tell you, you get hit with one of those, you're going down, no matter where it hits you.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. So imagine this American flag being carried by the Union soldiers in the Civil War.
Yep.
I'm from the South. I love the stars and bars. I do. Not because of the racial indications that everybody wants to put on it, but because that was our battle flag.
Yeah.
But we were defeated. The North won. The war's over. There is no North and South. We are one America.
Yeah.
So take that battle flag, do what you want to with it, but keep it off the flagpoles. It doesn't belong. The American flag belongs.
Well, Bobby, I definitely have the same reverence for the stars and stripes that you do. But I can't ask for them to leave me alone and let me do what I want to do.
Oh, no.
I'm not willing to let them do what they want to do. No matter how much I disagree with it, no matter how much it hurts me, no matter how much I know the loss men have sacrificed not only their lives, but the livelihoods of their families to defend that flag, still doesn't negate the fact that if I want to be allowed to do what I want to do, then I have to be willing to let my fellow American do what he wants to do.
Yep.
We don't stop them from burning the flag and showing their hatred and their satanic thoughts. We don't stop them from that. But I'm talking about, I'm sorry, but there is a thing in the world called rule of law. And the Democrats don't know what that is.
No,
there are some rules of law. And I'm going to tell you, without rules and without laws, we would have no peace.
Bobby,
we have to have rules and laws. I think these are things that came up long before we were born.
Absolutely.
Our forefathers came up with this about the flag, how to reverence the flag.
They changed
And
it.
I don't think it's our place to change it. Only thing I was saying about the flag is there should never be another flag above it.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
I
absolutely.
If you
definitely,
want to burn it, brother. You know,
I
if you want to
definitely
wrap
agree.
yourself in it like a cloak, wear it as a garment. I don't care.
You want to be careful who you burn it around, though. There are
There
some
you go.
take a high offense to it,
You,
and
you
they
might
might
want to be
kick your
careful.
ass right into that fire. They might put the flag out with your body. Okay.
Well, Bobby, I would like to say I definitely agree with every statement you've made about our stars and stripes. And like I said, I hold the same reverence for it that you do.
Yeah.
And I would always abide by the standards I know that are right.
Well, I got a quick little story I want to tell you. I was in the military for 7 years, and every afternoon at 5 o'clock, they sound taps.
Mm.
Okay, end of the day, time to end work, go home, go to bed, do what you're going to do. All right. When you'd be outside and you wouldn't realize it was 5 o'clock, and all of a sudden you heard that first toot of the trumpet,
Yeah.
you'd see people running as fast as they could to get in their cars or to run into a building or to get under an overhang somewhere. I never ran. Every time I heard that trumpet start, I knew they were lowering our flag. And I would turn because I knew which direction our flag was on post. Everybody did.
Yeah.
I would turn in the direction of that flag, even though I couldn't see it. And I would salute that flag
Amen.
with honor and pride and think, this is my flag. Look at me. I'm standing here on a military base with 45,000 men. And I'm one of the few that stands out here in the street and salutes that flag because I love it. I'm not going to run to not have to spend 45 seconds standing at attention saluting the flag of this country.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So even in the military, you got those who don't respect our flag. We as patriots, we've got to bring our flag home. We got to bring our flag home to us.
Yeah.
Our flag, our Constitution, our Bill of Rights. Without those things, we are not a nation. You know, without God in our life. And I know you just had a child, and that was probably the closest thing to a godly experience you've ever had.
The best gift he's ever gotten from God. That's exactly.
Amen.
It was definitely a blessing.
And I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of blessings from God. I'm not trying to preach, but God has a lot of blessings for us, those who strive. And that's what we're doing. We're striving to make a better life for not just for us, but for our kids and our grandkids and even for their grandkids. You know, it shouldn't be us and them, but it is. And it's getting more that way all the time.
It definitely is. I mean, I grew up in a neighborhood outside of the city of Detroit where you knew everybody on your street.
Yeah.
There was a sense of community. Somebody's car broke down, you rode with your next door neighbor until the guy from down the street who works on cars came down and could get your car fixed for you and run it.
Yeah, or if you needed to push, you had 10 guys jump in there and push you down the street to jump it off. Yeah.
It was a community back then. Now everything is, what's in it for me?
Yeah.
What am I going to get out of this? And it's evident in all of the politicians that we watch on TV every day, complaining about things that have no bearing over your life, my life. It's
me.
I mean, somebody's feelings got hurt, so now we want to impeach somebody. I mean, this is the soap opera that we need to do something about. We need to spend the money to send the people to do the job. And if you're going to let all the other people who have completely opposite agendas spend the $5, $10, $20 to support these campaigns of these social justice warriors, communists, socialists, everything under the sun, Satanists. I mean, the list goes on. If you're gonna let them collect the $50,000 they need to sit on the House floor and interject their nonsense into our daily business, then we're going to end up right where we don't want to be the whole time watching them do it, saying, there's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah.
We can't stop them. To watch them do what they do, and your only response is, we can't stop them.
Well,
You
actually,
can't stop them. You've already been defeated.
Somebody, Philip Turner in the chat asked, how deep in debt is your district in Detroit?
I couldn't even tell you how deep my district is in debt. I mean, the city of Detroit is 13 million in debt on paper, but what does that really mean? I mean, if you think about it, the largest city in my district is Pontiac. I only cover a small part of Detroit.
Okay.
These cities were once selling houses for $200,000. Now these cities are selling houses for $2,000.
Right.
They're losing 40 to 60% of their residents. The city of Detroit fell below 1 million for the first time, I think, in 72 years, 76 years. And it'll never approach 1 million again. And I would be surprised with the census this year if we reach 50,000.
If they brought industry,
500,000.
if they brought industry, if they brought the industry back, like Michigan used to be one of the powerhouses for the nation. Could they bring the industry back to Michigan? Could you help bring the industry back?
The industry is not only gone, but it's been streamlined.
Exactly.
We don't need a foundry that's 7 miles long to smelt iron anymore. We can buy it from a tanker off the coast of New York and ship it here cheaper than powering a foundry. So no, I don't think we could ever bring back that kind of stuff, because how are you going to put a guy in there making $3 an hour or $3 a day, which is what you need to pay him to make it profitable? Now, this minimum wage thing we got going on is truly the end.
That's a joke.
Free market. It's the end of a 17-year-old boy going and getting a $5 an hour job, because that's all he's worth to the company. Not $15 like somebody sitting in a leather seat in their private office dictates.
You know how much I made on my first job?
I bet a lot more than me.
$1.25 an hour.
Wow.
Yep. That's what I made.
You showed up for the job and you worked it, then it must have been
I worked 40 hours for $50.
There you go. I mean, you have to start.
I want to mention something here in the chat. I just happened to notice that, and I want to say something into it. We don't have to all agree with each other in the chat, but hey, let's be respectful. I mean, every person in that chat is a friend of mine.
Oh, yeah.
And if y'all have a problem, if one of you doesn't like what the other one says, well, let it go. Don't start an argument in the chat, because I'm going to tell you that Anunnaki the One, Iron Crane, Philip Turner, California Critic, Rebel Jack, my friend and brother, Philip Turner and Patty Toth White and Donna Beyer and Gary Holland. Man, I want you people to like each other and to get along. This is a place for us to gather. It's not a place for us to argue or to say things that are going to hurt somebody else. So let's just be friends and let's keep it civil, and let's not have any arguments, because I thought I had some moderators in there, and I'm going to be honest with you. If this stuff gets out of hand, I'm going to find a moderator that's going to end it. I'm not putting up with this bickering in the chat. I love each and every one of you. I don't know who's right, who's wrong. I don't care. But stop it right now. Stop it right now in the chat. And if you're not going to stop it, I'm going to ask you to please leave. Don't make me put a mod on you and tell you to and knock you out of here. Okay, I'm not trying to be an ass. I'm not trying to be a hard butt. But people, we're in this fight together. We're not in here to argue and have mischief and strife between us. Either we're united as a front together in this fight to save America, to save our lives, to save our Constitution, our country, and our way of life, and our belief in God.
Absolutely.
So let's do it, people. Let's get together. Get your head right. Let's don't argue between us, especially in a chat. If you want to argue, get their phone number, call them up. But don't do it in my chat, please.
Me and Bobby.
Please don't do that in my chat.
Me and Bobby argue from time to time.
Yeah, let us argue. That's our show. That's what we're here for. We're here to argue.
We're not here for each other. We're here for our brother Roger over here.
That's right. And so we're going to get back to Roger, but I had to say something because I saw the chat going wild there, and I had to stop it.
I missed it.
So I don't mean to be an ass, but yeah, we have to have decorum here. So let's get back to our dear friend Roger Henderson, also known as Detroit Preppin. Tell us a little bit. I know that you're real deep into prepping. So can you talk to us for a little bit about your prepping and what you suggest people do? And because I know you're even deeper into it than our friend Dangerous Freedom.
Well, I guess I'll give you a little background. In 1999, I was preparing for Y2K. At that time, I had
I remember that.
I remember
rifle. I had a fresh box of 50 Raptor 22 long rifle rounds. I had 2 magazines, a little bit of water, and when I say a little, I mean 10 bottles.
Hey Ron, pardon me. Throw Detroit Preppin's link in there. They're wanting his link.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got that.
All right, go ahead.
And I definitely thought I was ready for Mad Max. That was where my mindset was. I had the same fantasy probably every 19-year-old boy at that time had. I would hold up in my rented house and roam the streets and take what I needed and, rule the world, right? 19, 50 rounds. I was ready to go. Fast forward, I never really put any more time or effort into the prepping thing. I enjoyed my rifle. I bought a couple handguns in that meantime. And the next big thing was the Mayan calendar, the 12 end of everything, long count calendar. And at that time, I had upped my supply. I had a couple handguns. I had still that 22 long rifle, about the same amount of food supplies, maybe a couple bags of Cheetos. I was ready to go, let Armageddon begin.
Can't forget the Cheetos.
It never occurred to me that it was a fantasy until, maybe I was 30 years old, 31 years old. I had actually lived my life a little bit and watched enough news stories to know, hey, that's a stupid freaking plan to have,
50 rounds and a bag of Cheetos.
Yeah, I mean, just ridiculous what I used to think surviving was.
Yeah.
I started watching The Prepared Mind, and he literally changed the way I thought about things. He gave me a perspective that I had never even imagined.
Right. Yeah.
And it started me off and running. And once I started, I pretty much for the first 4 years committed wholeheartedly to storing tons of food, more than thousands of rounds, and then actually using the stuff and knowing, how am I going to be able to cook this?
Yeah.
How am I going to be able to secure this stuff? I can't just leave it all in one place. I got to be able to get to it if I do have to make it a mile from where I'm living at. And it prepared me more for the things I'm involved in now, fatherhood. I'm able to teach someone now what it means to not only enjoy your freedom, but be able to maintain that freedom no matter who tries to take it from you.
That's right. That's right.
And, you know, everybody I've talked to over the years, in
Hello,
my
DM.
personally,
I've missed you.
have,
Go ahead.
you know, they've basically laughed it off, and I'll be at your house if there's any problem, and you know that's fine. But what you need to do right now is start either giving me money so I can have supplies here for you, or you need to start bringing your own supplies here so that they're here when you need. But
Right.
that's not their mentality. Their mentality is Roger Henderson's going to save me and my family
Yep.
because
Yep. Yep.
I didn't
Yep.
have the money. I didn't have the time. I went and
Uh,
bought new gym shoes. I'm the one that took on a car payment,
yeah.
which
Yeah.
was literally the amount of money I make in a month, and can't
Uh,
figure out why I can't pay my car payment. And
I'll tell you, Roger, I've got a cousin that did the exact same thing. I mean, I don't have, you can't see him in this screenshot, but I mean, I've got uh, a shotgun up there and a carbine, and I've got my pistols and all that kind of stuff. And I've got plenty of rounds. I'm still buying them. But anyway, I had a cousin who said, I asked him, I said, what are you going to do when it all hits the fan? He says, well, I'm coming to your house.
No.
I says, I don't think that's a good idea. He says, why? I said, like, you're going to get shot.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not coming to my house. No.
well, I mean, the reality of it is, if it was ever in a situation where most people would think I need to get the hell out of here or go somewhere safer, it's already going to be too late for them. I mean,
Too
you're
late.
talking about making it 7 miles on foot when you haven't walked a block in 15 years.
Yeah.
People are shooting at you and it's cold outside and you don't have a pair of boots because you spent all your money on gym shoes. And you don't, you know, have a plan other than I got to go that way. It's ridiculous for most people to even think that's acceptable. And then I guess what's even more scary is these people are trusted to bring children into the world and teach the children the same thing. Somebody else will take care of it.
That's
Somebody
right.
else is going to save you. Somebody else is going to stop it from happening. It can never be like that. I mean, it's
That's
just
right.
the stupidest things over and over I hear. And you know
Hey,
what? I made a video a couple of months ago about a situation that happens in my neighborhood every year: power outages.
Mm-hmm.
wow.
Now, all of these houses here are over 100 years old. Every one of these
So
houses
is
has
mine. Mine is
at
too.
least 2 fireplaces, at
Hey,
least at
Lynn.
minimum. Some of them have 3 and 4 fireplaces. But you
Lynn
know what
M.
nobody owns? Nobody owns any wood to put in that fireplace.
That's right. You got to use
Nobody
coal.
owns, nobody owns a generator to power their furnace when the power goes out in the middle of winter and it's 16 degrees outside. I've watched every neighbor on this block get in their car and drive away and leave their house
8 p.m.
and pray that it was there when they got back. And I mean, every one of them had broken pipes leaking in the house and damage far beyond what it would have cost to buy
Generator.
a simple generator.
All right. Let me get in here right quick, brother.
Okay.
I want to holler at a couple of people. DM Namad, I've missed her lately. She hasn't been here. She's been sick or busy.
Hey,
I don't
Neil.
know what's been going on with her, but I am so happy she's back. And let's see. There was a couple of people in the chat. Yeah, Iron Crane. Cheetos are the devil's snack.
No, man,
But
think-
Vince Dunn says a lot of idiots are spending $500 on Nike shoes and not a single pair of boots. You know, and but it's the same thing. People who don't know just don't know. You know, you hear about the woke people. Well, I got news for you. The woke people are the people who are thinking about tomorrow.
Yep.
And the day after, and the day after. I mean, you know better than I probably through your research, Roger, of the horrors that we actually face in this country.
Yeah.
And what's if something isn't done to rein in these demon rats, they're literally going to accomplish the destruction of America from within because we are too passive. When are we patriots going to stand up and say, enough's enough?
I
When can I use my Antifa axe. You know, when can I plant this thing in an Antifa head? By the way, this is an Antifa axe. This is what I named it. It came from Knight's Armory. I love this thing. I mean, man, I can hit them from 3 different directions with this. But anyway, when is that going to happen? When are we going to start taking our streets back and not letting these people just run in our streets?
Well, I had mentioned briefly in a video I just did about what happens when we go to protest.
Yeah.
We go, we protest in the fashion they've designated us to protest in. We do it in the areas they've designated us to protest in. And when we're done protesting, we bag up our garbage.
And we take it with us.
Take it with us. What do they care? Now, when Antifa goes and protests,
they destroy everything.
They set shit on fire. They destroy personal property.
And people.
They assault people. Yeah, without a doubt.
They get what they want because nobody wants the squeaky wheel squeaking. They want to give it the grease and move on. And as long as we show up and we make no noise
or are passive as we have been,
they're going to do what they're doing. They're going to get in their jet. They're going to fly to their retreat. They're going to wait for us to leave the next day because we have to go to work in the morning. And they're going to come back and do what they wanted to do.
Yep.
And the only way to stop them from doing that is by electing the people we know are going to go there
and say
do
no.
the job we sent them to do.
Yeah, and that's right. And I believe
they accomplish that, it's to be seen. However, once we send one man, we can't stop there. We have to send 2 more the next time. We have to send 4 more the time after that. Because believe it or not, as I watch C-SPAN, I hear patriots and constitutionalists every day take that floor and speak. And you know what they're screaming for? We're being outnumbered. We need help.
That's right. That's right.
We're being outnumbered.
That call.
Yeah. We need a grassroots movement. And we need to go all the way to Washington.
And you know, if you think you need to hire a career politician to decide whether something is constitutional or unconstitutional, then I think they've fooled us even more than we think they have. Because
so right.
The Congress is not there to debate what's right or wrong.
Now look at AOC, man.
It's not there to impose their agenda upon Americans. It's there to legislate the things that the government has the authority to legislate. And those things are very specifically spelled out.
But with the Democrats today, there is nothing spelled out. They write the rules as they go.
Yep.
And if they don't like the rules, they just rewrite them.
Yeah, they change them.
But you see, that's what I'm wondering about. How can one person make a difference?
Well, definitely
we can't run. No, I can't run for Congress. I mean, hell, I never. I mean, even if I had the signatures, I'd be laughed out of the caucus. But but still, what I'm trying to say is, how do we as individuals make a difference other than calling our congressmen and our senators? What can we do as Americans to make this better?
By playing the game that has been set forth for us to play. As unfortunate as it is, we know how to become elected. We watch all the people we disagree with become elected.
Yeah, that's true.
They fill out the paperwork. They gain the support. The support is in dollars. It's not a fairy godfather flying around dropping $100,000 on these people to fund their campaigns. It's donations from like-minded people sitting at Starbucks drinking their soy latte, hitting the app and sending $5 to somebody that's sitting there telling them what they want to hear. Right. What they're going to do. And you can call them liars, you can call them whatever you want. When they get to Congress, they do what they said they were going to do.
Oh, I want to ask you this before we get too far. We talked about this the other night when we first met. Tell me about what it would take for you to ensure that you would have enough signatures to be on the ballot. How much money did you say? 47,000?
About 47,000 would be the total bill to hire a company that would obtain those signatures and verify that they've submitted the 6,000 proper signatures on my behalf. There's several companies that do that. They canvass year round as a 9-to-5 job, and I definitely understand because me personally, how many doors can I knock on in a day?
Yeah.
How many respondents am I going to have when I go knock on that door?
Yeah, yeah.
How many people are even going to have a conversation with me, let alone be willing to give me their name, their phone number?
Because they all have to be contacted. Is that right?
Well, no, they wouldn't be contacted if I made the 6,000 threshold. They would assume that half of them at least were valid.
I got you. So if you only had 3,000, they'd be calling them all and then they'd knock you out.
They would try to, yes, verify them. And I'm sure they would make sure that they didn't verify 3,000 at that point.
Wow. Yeah. Any way to keep you out of office.
Even if I turned in 6,000, the Democrat and the Republican candidates, caucuses.
Oh, I got an idea.
Investigate.
Why didn't you run as a Democrat? And then as soon as you got elected, flip to Republican or independent?
Well, I mean,
no, I'm just saying. I mean, that's what I would do if I was going to run. I'd run as the demon rat.
That's actually.
And if I got elected, I'd flip parties.
Yeah,
I definitely understand that strategy, but it's not in me to present myself falsely. I am who I am. This is what you're going to get. And if you like what I'm saying and you want to hear me say it in front of 100,000 people, then this is what we need to do.
And I'll tell you what,
we need to fund the campaign. We need to hire the company to put my name on
GoFundMe stuff up there, brother. Feel free to put that in here. Yeah, anytime, man. Put that GoFundMe page in there. And let's try to help Roger do the best he can. He's fighting an uphill battle. It's a battle he probably can't win. But we can support him because this isn't the only battle. There's more to come. And we've got people like Roger Henderson in the 14th District of Michigan who is willing to stand and fight. And he's fighting in the face of adversity. He's fighting in the face of a brick wall. But he's fighting. So let's support him. Let's send him a buck or two here and there. So put your GoFundMe in there for your campaign. And brother, I support you. We're getting down toward the end of the hour, but I'm going to give the rest of the hour to you just to talk to the people and get your message out there.
Well, I mean, my message is pretty simple. We've gone so far away from what our forefathers set up and intended for us to do with this great republic that they left us. They
Amen.
fought, died for.
Right.
They left their farms, their families, their lives behind. And most of them didn't make it back home to see the people they were fighting for.
Right.
The 3% that stood up and did what the other 97% only talked about doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we have to stand up. The 3% that gave us this would be so ashamed at what we're doing with it right now.
You're right. I agree.
It pisses me off to know
all of us cannot see how simple it is to fix the problem. Then we're going to get what we deserve. We're getting what we deserve right now.
We need justice.
Amen.
Screamed from the mountaintops. You watch it on Fox News. You hear it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Democratic candidate raises $1 million in 3 days to fund their campaign or whatever.
Right.
All these people I watch making these videos that say, I don't have $2, I don't have $5, I don't have $20. You know, it's another excuse so that we can sit back in front of our camera and scream about what's wrong with the world without actually doing what it takes to change it.
Exactly. Exactly.
I've donated thousands of dollars to YouTube creators in the past year. I didn't do it because I wanted something in return. I did
Right.
it because it was the right thing to do, and it was the easiest way for me to not have to get off the couch and show my support.
That's right.
Everybody's making videos about their new gun, their new bag of beans, their new hiking boots or whatever. If you ain't got $5 to send somebody to fight for your rights where it matters at, not on YouTube, this doesn't matter. This is not where laws are made. I mean, it's almost like we're living in the Twilight Zone.
Right. Yeah.
It's to the point now where I feel like shit or get off the pot. Stop wasting your time making these videos about how fucked up things are if you're not going to do anything about it. And I'm not saying everybody's got to sign up and run for Congress. I'm not saying everybody's got to be the mayor of their city.
Yeah.
But we got to send some people there that are going to do our bidding and not the bidding of the other people paying. Because they're paying. They're sending their $5 while they're drinking their Starbucks. They're sending their $2 while they're walking down the street looking at their phone in the days, you know? And I don't care how poor you are. If you ain't got a couple dollars to invest in your future, then you don't deserve a future. You just don't deserve a future other than the one that's given.
Yeah, people don't realize that just $1 or $2 makes a big difference in a campaign when you're struggling to get the word out that we all want out there. And it's our own wishes, our own thoughts, and our own dreams, but yet they're not willing to donate $1 to their own future.
That's what it comes down to.
You got a handful. I mean, I've definitely put my wallet where my mouth is.
Yes, you have, Dangerous Freedom. You've been kind to many people.
And I don't even live in Michigan, but I'm telling you, this man right here, I would trust him as president. To be honest,
man, I'm gonna trust him. I'm gonna trust him to stand shoulder to shoulder with me when the time comes.
Yeah, whichever. But president
never arises.
Maybe he'll be the president, and we will still be standing shoulder to shoulder in this fight. It's getting pretty darn crazy out there.
Well, it's a real simple road to recovery.
It is.
Know, if you can go buy the latest and greatest AR-15 and make a video where you send 90 rounds downrange, and
it's still
you can send $20 to supporters of Roger Henderson so that we can get those SEER laws lifted, and we
there
can
you go, brother. That's right. You're exactly right.
You're exactly right. We can start getting rid of some of these unconstitutional laws that have been passed because we're not willing to pay now. We're going to pay in the end.
Yeah, and it's going to be a much higher price.
Yeah, it'll be blood.
A much higher price.
No way to get around paying.
A new gun itch. I got you. I got you.
Well, Ron, I want to tell you, brother, thank you again for being part of the Dangerous Deplorables. I love you like a brother. You know that. And Ron, we're winding down, but I want to tell you, my friend, I support you. I wish I lived in Michigan. I would love to be there to try to campaign for you and get you some votes.
Actually, Gary, it's Talib. Talib is the one in Dearborn, right?
Yes.
She's in District 13.
No, not Talib. Talib's in
no, you're talking Rashida. Talib is in Michigan.
In Michigan. Okay.
Rashida Talib is in Michigan.
Yeah, she's in District 13.
District 13, that's right.
Next one over.
Yeah.
Yes. Brenda Lawrence is the incumbent right now.
Actually, Brenda Lawrence is the incumbent, and Terrence Morrison is the other Democrat running, as well as Representative Gabriel Grossard. Republican Gabriel Grossard and Republican Dale Houston.
Right. Their names are actually on the ballot at this time.
Exactly. Right now at this time.
1,000 votes needed to have their name on there. My deadline to turn in those signatures would be April 14th of this year.
Well, man, I know you've got an uphill battle.
If I don't get that number of signatures, I will still be able to run as a write-in candidate.
Gotcha.
So I'm not going to just give up because I don't get the signatures.
That's it, brother. Be a bulldog.
It'll be till the end. I'll have to find out.
There you go, my friend. And I want to tell you, I thank you so much for spending an hour with us tonight and sharing your, your hopes and your dreams for America. And I'll tell you, man, it's a blessing. I'm really glad to know you. Feel free to call me anytime, and we'll do this again. I'll tell you, I think you're a great patriot, and I'm sure that everybody in my chat feels the same way. I'm glad to get your name out there. And people, if you do not know this man, his name is Detroit Preppin on YouTube. Preppin.
Don't hang up.
Throw that up there right quick, Ron. Throw his PayPal, his link up there. There it is, Detroit Preppin. Thank you.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming by the live tonight, and hopefully I'll be able to do a live from the floor of the House of Representatives.
That would be cool.
We hope so. We hope so, brother. Awesome. And listen, now, my dear friend, God bless you and your wife, and God bless that new baby you have. Okay.
Yes.
Cherish it, love it, and keep it safe.
I will do that.
We'll talk to you in another day or two, and feel free to call me anytime. And we're going to get out of here and let somebody else come on at 9. Thanks again for being here, everybody. Thank you all so much. Hit the like button. Be good. We love you, and God bless. And have a good night. We'll talk to you tomorrow at 3 p.m. on a special edition with Fight and Defend.
Stay armed.
And keep your powder dry.
Amen to that.